Hello and welcome to the Comic Cave. I'm Ramsey, aka Captain Away, and today I'm looking at the 2016 series Suicide Squad Most Wanted, Deadshot and Katana. In 2016, DC apparently decided that already having 5 drastically different takes on the Suicide Squad within the New 52 period just wasn't enough. So they wanted to add not just 1, but 2 more to the mix. So they came out with the Suicide Squad Most Wanted series, a 6-issue miniseries featuring 2 stories per issue, one about Deadshot and the other about Katana. Each story was part of a single story arc for just that character, with no relationship at all between the 2 stories, and also featured the Suicide Squad because, it had to. Which for Deadshot, yeah, made total sense. He's pretty much been relegated to Suicide Squad member since he first joined the Suicide Squad. For Katana, it made much less sense, seeing as in the comics, she had never, up to this point, been a part of the squad in any way, shape, or form. It's almost like she's included here as some kind of media tie-in to some sort of Hollywood movie that also came out in 2016 that included the character because it was trying to meet some kind of random diversity quotient or something. Nah, I'm sure that's not the case at all. Or maybe I'll let you decide as we take this away. We'll start first with the Deadshot story, which itself actually got its start 3 years earlier in a 2013 one-shot written by Matt Kindt, who was the 3rd writer on the New 52 Suicide Squad comic. During the Forever Evil event, he wrote Justice League issue 7.1 for the so-called Villains Month that explored Deadshot's backstory. It showed his entire family being killed because they were unfortunate enough to live next to some people who stole from drug dealers. And when those people were mercilessly overkilled in a hellstorm of bullets, some of those bullets came through the walls and killed his family. So Deadshot swore he would learn to shoot and never miss a shot. And so was reborn the world's deadliest man with a gun. Then this series comes along and says, nah, you know what? Never mind. In this comic, that whole story is a fiction. Or partial fiction. It's a real story that happened to someone Deadshot once shared a prison cell with, but it's not his story. Deadshot stole the story and lived by it for some reason. I guess because he didn't want to admit the truth. And the truth was apparently that he, Floyd Lawton, was instead a child of a wealthy family. But the father was an abusive alcoholic who took much of his anger out on Floyd's brother. So to protect his bro, Floyd took his father's hunting rifle, climbed a tree, and tried to shoot him dead. Except he somehow epically misses and shoots his own brother instead. So this is the real reason Deadshot promises to never miss another shot. But in this version of the story, he makes a second promise, to one day kill his dick of a father. Which is why, in a gap between missions for the Suicide Squad, when somebody slips Deadshot some info that his dad is dying, he takes a chance during his next mission to go off the grid and return home to kill his old man. Nice attempt at being artsy, guys, with the cross in place of Deadshot's laser eye, but also terrible attempt at being artsy, you guys. Because first of all, that's the wrong eye, and second, seriously? That's awful. Deadshot's dad dies while he's arguing with his mom, who is completely unremorseful about the fact that she's the one who encouraged him to try to kill his father the first time, and also unwilling to still see the dad as a monster. So, Deadshot just kills her instead. Deadshot is great. Before leaving, he somehow discovers that his daughter, Suchin, has been given up for adoption, even though Waller had said she'd see to it that the girl was kept out of the foster care system. Angry at Waller and knowing she's coming for him, he hunkers down in his father's gun room and starts taking out Waller's foot soldiers. Eventually, Harley manages to use her old psychiatrist degree to talk him out, but before we can see if this was just an excuse to get closer to Waller or not, he's gunned down by his replacement, this guy named Will Evans. It seems Evans is the prisoner that Deadshot stole his fake backstory from, and now he wants to take over Deadshot's life. So he literally dons a blue version of Deadshot's outfit and starts calling himself Deadshot. Unlike the real Deadshot though, who has basically been Waller's lapdog in all the other New 52 series, this Deadshot is more of a loose cannon, as we see when Waller sends the squad out to a place called the Red Market, a sort of black market auction house where you can get anything that's illegal. Even... what? Gasp! Illegal comic downloads? What fiends! The squad is supposed to take the people called the Board of Directors for the Red Market alive, but New Shot has a personal vendetta against them and starts killing them instead. The squad tries unsuccessfully to stop him, and we even see that Waller had actually trusted him so much she hadn't even given him a nanobomb in his neck. This mistake and rampage leads to the death of Waller's field agent, Olivia, a young woman we learned pretty much nothing about except that she seemed perfectly capable and nice and was probably only here to die. Sigh. So, Fake Shot goes off on his own to hire himself out as the new Deadshot, while Waller goes to get the original in order to have him hunt down his failed replacement. Floyd had other plans though and escaped Belle Reve so he could go take care of his daughter. Now having lost both Deadshots, Waller puts out news that Floyd Lawton is alive and on the run in order to lure in both of them. This gets the fake Deadshot to kill the foster parents of Suchin, which is pretty messed up. Those deaths are entirely on Waller's head. So Evans lures Floyd to an island where they can play a most dangerous game style version of Red vs. Blue, but Floyd's lack of care for his own life gives him just enough of an advantage to take Evans down and save his daughter. So his story ends with him getting to see his daughter one last time before he returns to working for Waller in the Suicide Squad. And that leads us to Katana's story. For her story, she enters into a country called Markovia in order to meet up with and rescue a scientist named Dr. Jace. Big DC fans will recognize the country as the homeland of Prince Brian, who became known as the superhero Geoforce, and Princess Tara, who would become Terra of the Teen Titans. Here it is serving as the invasion grounds for a group called the Cobra Cult. I guess because even DC had given up on all the Basilisk nonsense from the first New 52 Suicide Squad comic. The cult is led by their Cobra commander, who as far as I can tell is named Naja Naja, which is just the scientific name of the Indian cobra, so that's dumb. And his Cobra queen, Eve. Eve is here, I think, mainly because obviously we couldn't have a woman main character fighting a man as her main enemy. So while Katana attempts to defend Dr. Jace and her neighbors from a Cobra invasion force, the two women end up facing off. Katana gets distracted by a young girl, I guess. It happens kinda off-panel. A lot of things happen off-panel in this story. Whatever it is, it leads to Eve managing to get away with Dr. Jace. Katana takes a police van to follow after them, bringing with her a young American tourist named Violet Harper, that was locked up here after her boyfriend ran off with all her identification. Violet is addicted to unspecified drugs, a condition that is treated with an utter lack of subtlety and sympathy. I'm not a fan of doing any kind of drug personally, but even I'm uncomfortable with the level of contempt shown toward this character in this comic. So Katana doesn't get far before Harper wanders off into the woods and comes across Eve and some Cobra cults, so that she can further prove that addiction is equivalent to evil. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. To get her fix, Harper sells out Katana to the Cobra Queen, allowing her to ambush our hero. Thankfully though, she's saved by the sudden appearance of the Suicide Squad, cause I guess they had to get into the comics somehow, seeing as they're in the title. Wait, who the f*** are these people? Okay, Deadshot and Harley we know, and I'm going to guess the Green Lady is Enchantress, given the obvious movie tie-in that is this whole series, but Firestar, not Wonder Woman, and Captain Icicle over here? Who the hell are they? Oh, apparently they're Heatstroke, Cold Snap, and Battle Axe. Those are some dumb names. Have Suicide Squad creators ever heard of consistency? I mean, come on. We all know by now that new characters are only introduced to these comics in order to be killed off. Wait, this says Captain Boomerang is here. I don't see him. Is he invisible? The squad and Katana are joined in their fight by some of Markovia's forces led by Prince Brian, and altogether they manage to chase away Eve. Brian sends the group on a new mission, and this leads to still more confrontations that end with one side randomly running away. All of it's just distraction anyway though, as King Cobra's real plan involves the reason he kidnapped Dr. Jace. He threatens to torture her if she doesn't agree to work for him, and once she does agree, he starts her service off by asking for an autograph. Aw, he's a fan. How cute. It seems Cobra had managed to capture some bizarre rainbow space creature called the Oracle, and commands Jace find a way to insert it into the nearly comatose, drugged out body of Violet Harper, in order to have it in a form that he can control completely. Before the Suicide Squad can show up to stop them, Katana takes a brief moment to change into her movie version outfit, because we needed to make it clear why this comic was being made. As the squad confronts Cobra in their base, the other Oracles show up to free their lost member, leading to the former human enemies having to work together to fight off the alien beings. Dr. Jace succeeds at powering up Violet with the captured Oracle, but defies her Cobra Commander by leaving Violet's free will in place. It doesn't work out too well though, and the Oracle ends up in control of the body. This for some reason leads her to join the fight against her own kind, and Katana, who starts calling the Oracle Halo for absolutely no reason other than that she's clearly supposed to be a character that already existed under the same name, demands that Enchantress help her destroy the other Oracles so that Halo may live. Enchantress does, and with that threat out of the way, Cobra immediately returns to trying to kill Katana. But Enchantress stops his attack and Katana kills Eve, leading to the king simply running away. Again. Meanwhile, the squad destroyed Cobra's command center and everyone escapes off the sinking ship. The comic ends with Katana taking Halo under her wing as the alien rainbow space creature inside of her has much to learn about being human. That's cute. Even if it's pretty weird how happy of an ending this is, considering that her entire rainbow space creature race, and Violet Harper herself, had to die in order for this one Oracle to go about as a new superhero. You're pretty messed up, Katana. Let's get to the breakdown. Interestingly enough, I expected to dislike the Deadshot comic and like the Katana comic, but it turned out pretty much the opposite. My biggest problem with the Deadshot story is I don't feel like there is any kind of sensible explanation as to why Deadshot stole Evan's backstory. They also never really explain who it was that slipped Deadshot the information about his father in the first place, but I suppose you could guess that it was maybe Evans himself. If you set those fairly minor complaints aside and just accept that they are what happened, you end up with a pretty well told story with some sense of style, some strong writing, and interesting twists. I especially like that the main plot of his series switches in each issue, keeping things fresh and interesting and the pace moving. None of that is true about the Katana story. Though there are some minor changes to the plot that happen along the way, they all feel pretty incidental to the main plot, and that plot is pretty underwhelming. Add on top of that some pretty poor writing, and you have a series that's a bit of a drudge to get through. The good news, if you want to call it that, is the two series are actually not collected together anyway. Even though they originally came out as a single title, the first issue of which was even collected in a volume of the new Suicide Squad, both stories are still collected in separate trade volumes. So in the end, I'm giving this series a recommendation level of medium. If both stories had been as good as the Deadshot one, I probably would have given this a higher level, but that Katana story really drags it down. Thanks everybody for watching! I didn't plan on November being an all Suicide Squad month, but once I got going, I kind of couldn't stop. For December, I like to do all single volume series and graphic novels, so I'll be doing the first of those next week. Hope to see you then, right here, in the Comic Cave.